Time Travelers. In the heart of New York City, amidst towering skyscrapers and bustling streets, stood a small, unassuming antique shop. Its dusty windows and creaky wooden sign made it easy to overlook. But inside, among piles of old books and relics from bygone eras, awaited a mystery to be unraveled. Dr. Ethan Hayes, a brilliant but reclusive physicist, had spent years deciphering the mysteries of time. His research was unconventional, often ridiculed by his peers, but Ethan was convinced that time travel was not only possible but within reach. His obsession led him to the antique shop, where he hoped to find rare texts on ancient theories of time. As Ethan browsed the cluttered shelves, his eyes landed on an old, leather-bound journal. Its cover was worn, and the pages yellowed with age. The journal belonged to a 19th century scientist, Dr. Alastair Wren, who claimed to have built a working time machine. Ethan's heart raced as he read Wren's detailed notes and intricate diagrams. With newfound hope, Ethan dedicated himself to replicating Wren's machine. His laboratory transformed into a place of intense labor and inspiration. He gathered antique mechanisms, crystals, and rare metals, requiring numerous journeys worldwide to find the necessary components. Each part was meticulously selected and installed with precision to match Wren's original blueprints. The machine was a marvel of engineering, a complex assembly of gears, circuits, and glowing crystals. It resembled a grand, ornate clock with hands moving in strange, unpredictable directions. Ethan faced numerous challenges and setbacks. Several times the machine nearly exploded as he attempted to power it up. But finally, after months of relentless effort and countless failures, the machine was ready. Ethan stood before it, his hands trembling with anticipation. He activated the machine, and a low hum filled the room. The air around him seemed to shimmer, and with a blinding flash of light, Ethan was transported through the fabric of time. Ethan found himself on a cobblestone street, surrounded by people in Victorian-era clothing. The sights and sounds of 19th century London were overwhelming. He marveled at the horse-drawn carriages, gas lamps, and bustling markets. But Ethan's joy was short-lived. He realized that without a way to return, he was stranded in the past. Desperately seeking a way back to his time, Ethan sought out Dr. Alastair Wren. He tracked the scientist to a grand, old mansion on the city's outskirts. Wren was astonished by Ethan's story and agreed to help him. Together, they worked on perfecting the time machine, using Wren's knowledge and Ethan's future technologies. As they delved deeper into their work, Ethan and Wren uncovered a dark secret. A powerful organization known as the Chrono Syndicate had been manipulating events throughout history to amass wealth and power. The syndicate had spies and operatives in every era, and they would stop at nothing to maintain their control over time. Ethan and Wren's activities did not go unnoticed. The syndicate sent agents to capture them and seize the time machine. A tense game of cat and mouse ensued, with Ethan and Wren constantly on the run, barely escaping capture time and again. Ethan and Wren's journey took them to various points in time, from the ancient civilizations of Egypt and Rome to futuristic cities of glass and steel. They met historical figures and witnessed pivotal moments in history. Each leap through time brought new dangers and new allies. In a dystopian future, they encountered Aria, a brilliant hacker who had uncovered the syndicate's influence in her era. Aria joined their quest, using her skills to help them navigate the complex web of time and avoid the syndicate's agents. Each transition between eras became increasingly difficult and perilous. The syndicate grew more relentless in their pursuit, and Ethan and his companions often found themselves on the brink of capture. In one such instance, they barely escaped an ambush in ancient Rome, hiding among the ruins of the Colosseum as syndicate agents scoured the city. As the stakes grew higher, Ethan and his companions realized that the only way to stop the syndicate was to destroy the original time machine, the source of their power. This meant returning to the moment of its creation and ensuring it was never built. In a climactic battle, Ethan, Wren, and Aria faced off against the syndicate's forces. The fight was fierce and brutal, with allies falling and sacrifices being made. Ethan knew that destroying the machine would mean erasing his journey and the friendships he had forged. But it was the only way to restore the timeline. Destroying the machine required precision and care. They had to locate and dismantle key components while keeping the machine operational to return to their time. It was a risky and complex process that demanded all their skills and knowledge. Ethan, Ren, and Arya returned to the moment the time machine was created. They set up an ambush in Ren's laboratory, avoiding detection by the Syndicate's agents. They had only one window of opportunity and could not afford a mistake. After dismantling the machine, Ethan found himself back in his basement lab, clutching Dr. Alistair Wren's journal. The machine was gone, and the events of his journey were being erased from memory. He knew he had succeeded, but the cost had been high. Ethan returned to his life, forever changed by his experiences. He continued his work, not on time travel but on understanding the flow of time and its impact on human lives. The memories of his journey, though faint, stayed with him, a reminder of the friends he had made and the sacrifices they had all endured. But time spent in the past and future had taken its toll. Ethan often experienced severe headaches, his memory became increasingly fragmented, and he sometimes confused reality with the past. Memories of friends and events blurred, leaving him in a constant struggle with his own mind. One day, Ethan could no longer get out of bed. He lay in his lab, surrounded by memories of his adventures, realizing his time was running out. With his last strength, he wrote a final letter, addressing future generations, urging them to exercise caution and wisdom when studying time. With tears in his eyes, he signed the letter and placed it in Wren's journal. His breathing grew weaker, and finally, he closed his eyes forever. His body remained in the lab, while his spirit went to eternal rest, leaving behind a legacy of scientific achievement and incredible adventures. The story of Ethan Hayes, Dr. Alistair Wren, and Arya was not forgotten. Their legacy continued to live in the hearts of those who dreamed of time travel and those who learned from their mistakes to avoid repeating the tragedy. Thus ended the story of the Weavers of Time, but its lessons remained with us forever.